Good morning. I'm excited for this one today. It's very cool out. It's a little bit breezy for the first time and it feels like a week. It's not raining. So it's kind of perfect conditions for a run. So I'm looking to lay down a nice goal pace run with my marathon coming up in less than a month now. And I just got the Saucony Endorphin Elites. So I'm really excited to try this shoe out. First stepping into it, I think this may be like my favorite upper on a shoe that I've ever tried. Feels good when I'm walking here. We're gonna see how it performs today. Two-mile warm-up done, and one word: wow. Way too early, bold statement. I think that this is the best running shoe that I have ever worn. Wow, they're amazing. That 2-mile warm-up I did in exactly 15 minutes, so 7:30 pace. My normal easy pace is 8:30, so I was running about a minute faster per mile with about the same level of effort. I didn't feel like I was trying at all, and I was just flying across the ground. These might be the Goldilocks shoe with foam for me. I struggle with New Balance with their fuel cell foam. It's too soft. I feel like I sink into it too much. I've experienced some Asics foam, the Flight Foam Turbo, being a little bit too firm. It doesn't compress enough, combined with that really stiff plate. These ones, to me, feel like if you're ever at the airport and you step on one of those moving sidewalks, and then every step you take on that moving sidewalk just feels easier because the thing's assisting you as you're walking along. I literally felt like I was gliding over the ground, like there were wheels under the shoes or something, just completely effortless. The speed roll in these is fantastic. It has that forward tipping sensation that I get from the Vaporfly. But one of the big differences with the Vaporfly, I feel like the more I put into it, the more I get out of it. But if I get tired and stop running as hard, stop putting as much effort into the shoe, that assistiveness kind of goes away. Like, you need to be on your game to get that shoe to keep driving hard. This, I was like barely trying, and I was just gliding across the ground like I was on ice skates or something. Not in a slippery way, but just like you take one push of the skate and then you get to glide and get the effort, the result of your effort. So again, that forward tipping sensation, the roll, the bounce. These have a lot of people said this new foam, the Power Run HG, which is only in this shoe. The Power Run PB is their foam that's in the other shoes in the Endorphin line. People said this foam is a little bit firmer than the Power Run PB, but for me, I actually think that works out even better because I'm a taller, heavier runner. So I'm sinking less into this, but I'm still getting nice responsiveness, nice bounce, probably the best roll of any shoe I've ever felt. It's just completely effortless speed. And I haven't even tried to run fast yet. So I'm very excited about these right now. So now I'm gonna try and run, I don't know, 6 miles, 8 miles at goal marathon pace and see how that feels. But in that warm-up, averaging about 7:30 pace, which is actually faster than my goal marathon pace. To do a 3:20, I gotta run 7:37 pace. Just felt effortless, like I could do it all day. So I'm super excited about these shoes right now. We'll check back in after I put some more miles in them. Good morning. So I'm out for run number 2 in the Endorphin Elites today. The first run I went on was great, and the second half of that went just as well as the first. I was able to hold marathon pace with not a lot of effort, so that was a really good showing for that first run. Today I'm doing a fartlek run, so I'm going to have a warm-up and then do some faster intervals and see how well this shoe does at picking up the speed. So my initial enthusiasm was confirmed on that interval run that I did. I'll put up on the screen now the graphics from that run. I was consistently able to get in the 6-minute paces or low 7s for those intervals, and the shoe felt really smooth and fast. I think about interval 7 was when I was like, all right, I'm going to try and really push it here, and I actually got up to a 4:32 mile pace, 13.2 miles an hour. So I was going Kipchoge pace, but for like a minute. I still do not understand how it is humanly possible for him to run that fast for that long. I guess it helps to be the best athlete in the world at your sport. But truly impressive the paces that he can hold for the marathon distance, my all-out sprint that I can barely even achieve. The next big test for the Endorphin Elite was the 5K run that I did yesterday. The Hotbog Fire Department 5K, which is the first race that I put on as a race director. It was a super successful event. We had a great turnout, a lot of response from sponsors, so it went really well for the fire department.
I'd love to do that. Well, you guys are not sure.
This shoe helped me to take home 2 medals from that event. I was able to win first responder and first in my age group. Actually finished the 5K in just over 20 minutes, so it was actually the fastest 5K that I've run this year. So big kudos to this shoe. So what makes this shoe so good? Pretty much everything. I can't think of almost nothing wrong with this shoe. The upper is fantastic. It has those cutouts in there to make it more breathable and help reduce weight. The tongue has a ton of holes in it, so air can flow through there. It is fully gusseted on the inside. It doesn't move around at all. It's not padded at all. It's a very thin tongue, but I don't feel any lace pressure from these laces. They're a little bit stretchy laces, but not to the point where they're feeling like they're coming undone or loosening while I'm running. So the lockdown is really good, which to me is actually kind of interesting because the way this upper is designed, this back part is kind of not attached, and then there's this sling here that kind of holds in your ankle and your Achilles at the back of your foot. And there's a nice little pad here that it sits against. But I would think that there'd be heel slippage with this design, but there's really not at all. And actually the back of my foot, where at the bottom of my Achilles, it kind of sticks out a little bit, and that can kind of tuck nicely into this. The fact that it's not a firm heel counter actually works really well with my foot. In addition to those cutouts, this upper has a really thin mesh where you can kind of see right through it. The light shines right through there. It's a very, very breathable upper. There's also more room in the toe box here than what you'll find in a lot of different racing shoes. So I actually have a little bit more volume than I need here, but it's not bad. It's not like I'm slipping at all. And if someone has a little bit wider volume foot, I think this would work well for you. We're right up to the legal limit in stack here at 39.5. However, this does something that I like where it looks taller than it actually is because your foot actually sits down in here a little bit. You're not on top of the entire midsole here. So it kind of cradles your foot really nice, and this is a very stable super shoe. Even though it's so tall, I feel great stability from this shoe. I do not feel overpronation. It has a nice wide forefoot. It doesn't taper in that much at the midfoot like a lot of these shoes do, and it has a pretty wide heel as well. So I'm finding this shoe to be very stable. In addition to being very propulsive. It also has a very big angle here at the front, which really helps with that forward tipping sensation and the speed roll of this shoe. It really just keeps you moving forward, leaning forward, rolling through that stride, gives you that extra propulsion and a really nice toe off. The foam in this shoe also seems to be like the perfect consistency for me. It's not firm, but it's also not as soft as some of the other ones. So it's kind of right in the middle, but like I said before, it's kind of just right. I'm getting a little bit of sink in, a lot of bounce, a lot of energy return, but it's not feeling too squishy. So it's helping me to kind of get into the foam a little bit and rebound, and it just feels effortless when toeing off with this shoe. The outsole grip on this shoe is also really good. It reminds me of the Adios Pro 3, where it kind of has that thin layer of rubber, but it's also kind of, even though it feels smooth, it's very grippy. This is very similar to that. It has that thin layer, but the whole front is covered with that rubber. Then they put it on the one side, but not the other. So that's the only thing potentially where this could be
trouble in the long run with wear. Right now I have a little bit of the foam being worn here. I've 17 miles on the shoe so far, and a little bit on the outside edge as well, where the rubber stops. But so far, the grip of this is really good. The race I did yesterday too, the 5K, it was wet on the ground. Thankfully we got lucky and the rains didn't open up until the race was over, so that we were concerned about weather. But this gripped really well on the pavement, felt great. And as far as weight goes, this is actually one of the lightest super shoes that I have as well. Right now the Nike is weighing in at 8.45 ounces in my size, the US men's 12.5, and the Saucony is weighing in at 8.91. So not a huge difference between the two, but I'm feeling much more stability from this shoe, actually more assistance, kind of more explosiveness than I'm getting from the Vaporfly, plus it's better at slower paces. And when I'm getting tired, this shoe is giving me more than that one is. And as far as weight stacks up, this is lighter than every other shoe that's up there, with the exception of the Metaspeed Sky. That one's around the same weight as the Vaporfly, a little bit more heavy in my size, but this is definitely on the lighter side, but I feel more comfortable in this shoe than any of the ones that are up there. Now, price could be one of the only things that you could knock with this shoe. It's $275 new, which is not a cheap shoe, but it's kind of right in line with the other super shoes. A lot of them, the Hoka is $250, the Alphafly is $275. There's shoes that have gotten over $300 now with the Prime X strung. So it is on the more expensive side as far as these shoes go, but I think it's the best one that I've ever used. And would I pay $25 more to go from the Hoka to this shoe? 100% yes. That's a very good shoe as well. I like that one also, but this is just better. A lot of people might also say you can save some money and get the Endorphin Pro 3 instead of the Endorphin Elite, and that's also true. I find that shoe to be a little bit softer. I think it'll work for more people potentially than this one will, just because it's a little bit different feeling with that more extreme rocker. But for people that this works for, I think it's going to be a much better shoe than the Pro 3. The Pro 3 might work for more people. I tried that one out probably about a year ago, but I had some issues with the fit where it just wasn't working for me, and I feel like Saucony designed this shoe for me. It's just absolutely perfect for me. The fit of it, the breathability, the comfort, the rebound, the roll, the speed, it's just great. So for buy it, wait, or second rate, I think this one's pretty obvious. I love this shoe. I'm confidently saying now I think it's the best running shoe that I've ever tried. So buy it. I would say, it's not going to be for everyone. I wouldn't use this shoe for daily training runs. Now I'm probably going to save it for like my A races. I do have the Suffolk County Marathon coming up on October 22nd. So this is definitely going to be my race shoe for that race. There are other super shoe options out there that are less expensive, but if you're interested in this shoe and want to give it a try, I would highly recommend it. I'm blown away by this one. I'll definitely do a video after I do the marathon to go over how everything went with that shoe, how the race went, and give an update on it. But as of now, it's great. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.